And so the change this morning is the fact that I'm doing the meditation after the talk. Can y'all deal with that? Okay. So let me also say one more thing before I go into all of this. Whoever's cell phone went off, know that I have huge gratitude for you, because I don't know if I turned mine off. Would you look in the pouch? No, flip the other way, on the other side. My phone should be right there. It should be right in the big one. Yeah. And make sure it's off, because I would hate for Dolly Parton to start singing during my talk, since she's my ringtone. So, you got it? Good. That's what we need. We need my phone to be silent. And the other piece is, I like to have fun, and I am quite comfortable if I say something and say, what do you think, that you answer me? All right? Gratitude for the journey. Boy, sometimes don't we have to really look? We have to really look for those pieces in our journey to be grateful for, because it's just, it can take us for a loop sometimes. And like I said, whoever, the cell phone that went off, I was like, thank you. Thank you, because it brought me to the recognition of something that I needed to tend to. So we can find something to be grateful for in every little thing that happens, whether it has an appearance of being something bad. And as I talked yesterday in our workshop, in the realm of spirit, there is no such thing as good or bad. It just is. It just is. So I want to share with you a passage out of Jesus Christ Heals by Charles Fillmore. And he wrote this a long time ago. And he said, metaphysicians have discovered that words which express thanks, gratitude, and praise release energies of mind and soul. And their use is usually followed by effects so pronounced that they are quickly identified with the words that provoked them. In other words, when we, this takes us to one of our principles. When we use words and have energy and thoughts of gratitude and thanks, we immediately have more opportunities, don't we? We immediately have more opportunities to be grateful for, or we can actually see. I think when we look at the Bible, and one of the passages talks about those with eyes to see and ears to hear, I think much of the time when we put ourselves in a place of gratitude, we are taking the blinders off and removing the muffs from our ears so that we have a better capacity to see and hear and feel the things that are going on around us that we can be joyful and grateful for. Now, this community feels like a community that knows how to find gratitude. And that's something to be thankful for. Are y'all proud of yourselves for engaging and having those grateful moments and seeing the good and being blessed and grateful for that? Are you? Okay, good. Because when we cultivate gratitude, we open new pathways for divine blessings to flow. It's rewiring those things in our brains. That's why I said a while ago, change is a muscle, and if we don't exercise it, it depletes, That whole thing about if you don't use it, you lose it. So to me, the gratitude falls into that as well. If you never bring yourself into that energy or consciousness of gratitude, and it could be something just a little, hey, I'm glad I woke up this morning. And honestly, because I know that you guys have been having a little bit of some dry season, I'm grateful that it's raining today, because there's beauty in all of that as well. So we always find reasons. So gratitude will shift our awareness from a limited perspective of not enough. Now, I'm sure there's nobody in this group that ever feels like there's not enough, right? Unfortunately, it's a human experience. We get caught up in that sometimes. And it's okay. It's okay to get caught up in that sometimes, but be aware so that you can shift it. I was speaking as we were talking yesterday, and one of the things I said is, if you find yourself in a situation, it's okay to hang there and look at it and see how it feels and check it out. And you might even have a little tent set up, but please don't build a house in those places of lack and limitation. It doesn't work for us, because we are our own worst enemies when it comes to things like that. So when we live in that perspective of gratitude, we are recognizing infinite possibilities, infinite potential. Do you realize that we live in this divine field of infinite potential all the time? And all we have to do is tap into it. And to me, gratitude is one of the big openers for the door into that experience of infinite potential. You know, when we are in a state of gratitude, it shifts our consciousness and it creates a space for divine ideas, for inspiration, for opportunities. Because when we are there, when we're open like that, we're more prone to even see it. Gratitude and thanksgiving are both necessary in demonstrating prosperity. That's part of the divine law. Because if I'm grateful for something, it's going to grow, right? Because if I'm greeting something with an open heart, with a joyful heart, with a grateful heart, what I'm doing is I am bringing it in so that there is more of it. So can you think of a few things that you would like to have more of in your life? Maybe you have a little bit of it, but you want more of it? The best way to do that is to be grateful for that little bit. Be grateful for that little bit and go, you know, this is really cool. As I was talking to Tracy and Tom before service, and we were talking about, you know, like what's good? And I said, you know, I wake up every morning and I lift my head and I look out over the vista of the mountains. Does it get any better than that? Every morning I am so blessed and I'm so grateful for that. Even on the mornings when the clouds have come in and I'm sitting in a cloud bank and I see nothing but white all around my house. Because that almost feels like the mountains are hugging me. And it feels good. It feels good to be in a consciousness of gratitude. Because the other thing is when we are in a consciousness, in a state of gratitude, we open ourselves up to receiving unexpected gifts, solutions to problems, moments of serendipity. We become a magnet for what we would say is God's good or divine good. You know, gratitude enriches our personal lives and radiates our blessings to others. If you come across somebody and you can tell that they're joy-filled and you know, they just seem to be grateful for everything, don't you find that a little infectious? You know? It's really hard to look into the face of someone who is smiling at you and not smile back. It's infectious. It's contagious. And that's a contagion that I would love to see sweep the world. You know, that's an epidemic that I could wrap my arms around and be grateful for. An epidemic of love and compassion, an epidemic of smiles and gratitude. And you know what? We have the capacity right here in Talmadge, Ohio, to create that pandemic. A pandemic of love. And in all honesty, isn't that what the world needs right now? You know, and we don't, in Unity, we don't teach about giving to a need because we make that need greater. So what I want to do, I want us to have a pandemic of love so that we are planting the seeds of love in the entire world around us. We have that capacity. Now, I know I'm human, and I'm pretty sure most of you are as well. And in our humanness, it's easy for us to get sidetracked, isn't it? It's easy to have something come along like that dark shadow rolls in or something doesn't go the way we would like for it to. You know, we've all had those experiences. And it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to forget. It's easy to forget that we have a spiritual practice that can always lift us up. It can blow away those dark clouds. And that's one of living in our divine potential. And in that divine potential, we live from the essence of pure, unconditional, divine love. And what more could you be grateful for? To be that in expression, to have that opportunity to take a deep breath. Go, okay, well, that happened. And what's next? What's next? I love the old TV series West Wing. And I love the fact that Jed Bartlett, when anything would be going on, all he would do, he would look at his people and go, okay, what's next? We got to keep on moving, right? And to me, we have to keep on moving in the direction of our joy, in the direction of that love that we see the world calling out for, the planet calling out for. So at Unity, we affirm that gratitude is a spiritual practice that we cultivate daily. You know, whether it be through prayer, meditation, or simply pausing to reflect on those blessings. Each moment that we spend in gratitude strengthens our connections to Source and to that Source presence within us. You know, there's always something to be grateful for. Always something. You know, we're encouraged to begin each day with a heart filled with thanksgiving. I know individuals who do a gratitude journal, and some of them do it first thing in the morning, and some do it last thing at night, and some do it both. Can you think of a better way to wake up in the morning than counting your blessings? You know, I grew up in the Southern Baptist tradition, and that was one of the songs that they would sing, that Count Your Blessings. And I'm sure some of you have heard it before. And even as a child, that felt good to me. That foundation felt good of the blessings and being grateful and being in that energy and consciousness of gratitude. And so when we come into that, you know, we open our day with that and we close our day with that. I've always find it fun before I close my eyes for the last time at night to take a few deep breaths and allow the fun, the joy, the blessings of the day to just kind of roll through my mind and be thankful for them. Because number one, I made it through another day. Number two, there's always beauty in our lives. Just so many times we don't slow down. I remember growing up and, you know, my teenage years, that thing about stop and smell the roses. It still applies. It may be an ancient saying, but it still applies today for us to continue to be grateful and find those points. Now, there are times when things seem to go wrong. And it's like, how do we find something good in everything being wrong? Well, many times we have to walk away for a second, take a deep breath, close our eyes, maybe get out and walk around the house or down the block and back, just to kind of begin, whatever it is that we do as individuals, to bring ourselves back to center. And once we get back to center, then we can have a better opportunity to see, because many times we get blinded by something that we perceive as negative that's happened in our lives, don't we? We get all wrapped up in it. We have a country right now that's all wrapped up in it. And we can stay there. And as we stay there, what do? We increase it, don't we? Because the longer I hang out in a certain place in my consciousness, the more that increases and the more power I'm giving to it. And so I just encourage us to remember the truth of who we are and to remember the truth of our essence is one of joy and love. And no matter how things may seem out of control, no matter how things may seem just awful, there's still a spark somewhere in there. And we have to be willing to look for it. There was a Unity minister years ago that she lived right around the corner from Unity Village, and her name was Reverend May Rowland. And she was amazing. She always was like having worked on that and had that positive attitude and things like that. And there was one saying that she had, and I've adopted it as my own. She would come up on something, come upon a situation that really had those earmarks of being bad. in our human context. And what she would say is, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this. I can't wait to see what good comes out of this. Because to my knowledge, and I was a history major in high school, but to my knowledge, we have never had a situation on this planet, no matter how devastating it felt, that there wasn't something good that came out of it. And if you know of something, I'm happy to talk to you right after service. Because I would like to know what that was, because I bet you there's still something good in it that we've still missed. So, as we hold the energy of gratitude for the blessings we have, the lessons we've learned, the journey we've traveled, we affirm the divine potential within us. Because as that divine potential, we are then able to celebrate the abundance surrounding us and the new avenues of good continually opening in our lives. And so in just a few minutes, we're going to go into a time of meditation. And if you didn't know, I was cueing the music team, just so I knew that. So we are co-creators with God the good, through gratitude, through welcoming more love, peace, joy into our experiences. So let us give thanks for the journey, knowing that our gratitude opens new doors, infinite goodness, now and always. Many years ago, I recognized that I traveled a lot. I owned a rehab equipment company, and I covered 5 states, and I was always in the car. I was driving here, going to see these clients, this hospital, this clinic. And every time I would go somewhere new, I didn't worry. I didn't worry that I was going to get lost. And this was before we had the little pocket friends that told us where to turn. Okay? This was back in the day when it was either a paper map or a map book or something else, because there wasn't any little, you were supposed to turn back there, dummy. Wasn't any of that going on. But what I discovered was if I got lost, there was always something fun or something cool or something exciting or a new client. Oh, I didn't know there was a clinic on that corner. I'm 3 blocks off of my track, but I guess I was here. So as we come into that place of gratitude, what I discovered was the more grateful I was for getting lost, the more blessings I found in getting back on track. I hope you've had those experiences. It is my desire for you that you do get comfortable, even when things have an appearance of not being fantastic, because something fantastic can come out of everything. And so I would like to invite us to go into a time of meditation. They're going to do a number for us, and then we're going to go into meditation. And so just breathe, relax, take in the music.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God.
Thank you for that beautiful piece of music that reminds us, that brings in that vibration, that frequency of gratitude into our hearts. And as we go into this time of meditation, into this time of that deep connection, I invite you to relax into your chairs and close your eyes, soften your gaze, whatever is comfortable for you. And we begin with a few deep breaths. Feeling the air fill your lungs. And as you do, hold for just a moment and slowly exhale. Letting go of any tensions or distractions and allowing your breath to settle into a natural rhythm. And as you breathe, bring your awareness to the present moment. Feel that seat beneath you supporting you. Recognize that this support is a reflection of the divine presence that surrounds you. And we understand that all things are connected through infinite love of the universe. Oh, now with each inhale, invite in a sense of gratitude. As you breathe in, visualize this energy of gratitude, filling your body starting from your toes and moving upward. And with each exhale, release any feelings of lack, any ideas of negativity, and just let them go. Let them go and make space for appreciation and gratitude. Take the time to reflect on your journey. And not just the paths of joy, but also those challenges that you faced. Because each step of our journey has shaped us, guided us, and brought us to this very moment. And as we think back and remember every experience that has been our teacher and has been providing valuable lessons that contribute to our growth. And we focus on the moments that have filled us with gratitude. Perhaps it was a kind word from a friend, a moment of beauty in nature, or an insight, that aha moment that may shift our perspective. And we allow these memories to wash over us, and we feel that warmth of appreciation. And now we expand our gratitude beyond our personal experiences and consider, just imagine the interconnectedness with all beings. And we acknowledge the role others have played in our journey, whether it be family or friends or mentors and even strangers. Each interaction, each shared moment has contributed to the tapestry of our lives. Oh, we feel the pulse of love and connection, that love and connection that unites us all in this shared journey. You know, we're not alone. We are part of a larger whole, an expression of divine unity. And we let this awareness deepen our sense of gratitude. And so take a moment and express thanks. Thanks for the challenges that have strengthened us, for the joys that have uplifted us, and for the simple beauties of each day. And in this moment, I invite you to silently affirm, I am grateful for my journey, for I know it is all unfolding in the perfect divine plan. And so let's take that affirmation into a few moments of silence. And as we hear the rain on the rooftop, and we prepare to return to this world, to this present moment, I invite you to take a few more deep breaths and feel the gratitude rescinding in your heart and knowing that it can be accessed at any moment. And I'd like to close out this message with this meditation with a few words that Myrtle Fillmore wrote in the Healing Letters. And she said, as you come out of the silence, count your blessings and give thanks for them. Realize that only good exists in you and in your world. That the power you contracted in the silence may have the opportunity to multiply and increase your blessings. So remember, gratitude is a powerful force. It invites more blessings into your life and reminds you of the unity we all share. Embrace the journey with one open heart, knowing that every moment is a gift. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, carrying forward that sense of appreciation with you and letting it guide your steps forward. And so it is. Amen.